Michael Schenker, good to have you here at Noise11.com. It's always great to talk to artists who have an amazing history. And we're talking about a new album that you've got out, My Years with UFO. And, like just going back and revisiting and bringing in a whole lot of guests must have been a fun project to work on.
Oh, it was absolutely fun. But the thing is, when we started, we had no clue what we were doing. Everything actually came in at different times, step by step, in different ways. So, like some ideas came from the record company, some ideas came from Michael Voss, my co-producer. Some ideas just happened while I was on the road. For instance, I was doing the Monsters of Rock cruise, and Stephen Pearcy came towards me with his hands open saying, "Michael, we love you." And I say, "Hey, come on, Stephen, you're going to sing on my record?" All right, and then I had Snider. I met him at a award in Wales, and he was sitting next to me, and he was telling me how great the reunion was in '95, the Walk on Water tour, and he said, like, I told my guys, look, this is a reunion. He said, "Hey, D, you want to sing on my album?" And then with Biff from Saxon, he was right next to me, divided by a curtain at the festival, and I just pulled the curtain and said, "Hey, D, hey, Biff, you want to do this?" Like that. And then there were other people, other singers that were suggested that I wasn't really sure. Like I don't listen to music, so I don't have much. It's, by the way, 50 years of not listening to music celebration as well. And 50 years a Gibson guitar, a Flying V as well. So I might do three of them, three anniversaries. And so some, like Eric, I wasn't sure who Eric was. He's a Swedish singer. And so I said, "Oh, play me something." And I heard it. I went, fantastic. I heard actually 18 and Live from Skid Row. He was doing the cover. Really, really good. And then Kai Hansen, he was suggested. And I said, "Okay, play me something." And I loved his voice. And he did a fantastic job on Rock Bottom, And then and then others, they just kind of, and then, with Axel, it was like this. We were meeting at a studio in Frankfurt, and Slash came with his people and with his amplifier. I had my tech and my amplifier there. And then Slash came and said, like, "Hey, Michael, I just told Axel, but I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to come here today and do this with you." And he said, "Oh, I want to sing it. I want to sing a song as well, Tell him." And I said, "That's fantastic. Can you tell Axel that I'm very happy to hear?" And so he actually ended up singing 3 songs. He sang "Only You Can Rock Me," "Too Hot to Handle," and "Love to Love." But he's a perfectionist, and I think they were in the middle of a tour as well. And so he decided, he already recorded all 3 songs, but he wasn't happy with neither one. And so he decided to leave out "Too Hot to Handle" and "Only You Can Rock Me" and just focus on "Love to Love." And that took a while. We were waiting and waiting. And eventually he said, "I done it. I'm confirmed. You can release." And so, that's how things came together from that point of in that way. And then, other suggestions were made here and there. Some people I didn't know, and I heard them and I liked it. And I said, let's do it.
Well, so when you're talking about those 3 Axl songs, okay, the first one, "Only You Can Rock Me," now features Joey Tempest and Roger Glover. Did that happen after Axl had already done his stuff?
Because those 2 songs became available, and so we kind of had to figure out who, I think, Michael Voss did a lot of approaching directly after we confirmed that I agreed to approach particular people. And I think Joey Tempest, it was maybe also approached in different ways before, but it was just like, it's hard to explain. It was just like, we were with different people, and you have to kind of juggle. And, when Axel said yes, but maybe Joey Tempest at some point, maybe he was thinking, I can't remember exactly how it worked out, but it all worked out. That's the main thing.
What about Roger Glover? I would imagine that over the
Yeah.
years in your history, you must have worked together before.
Yeah, and Roger Glover, that was, I think, an idea Michael Voss had, and so Michael Voss is a fan as well, and so he suggested Roger Glover, and I think my record company is the same as Deep Purple, and somehow it worked out that way. I mean, I was not. I mean, he produced my first Michael Schenker Group album, but I have never heard really focus on his bass playing. But he plays so good. I can't believe it. I mean, so melodic. I was blown away when I heard it, and at his age as well, really, really good.
Yeah, and too hot to handle, of course. Then you've brought in Joe Lynn Turner, who has got a history with so many bands in the 70s, 80s, 90s as well.
Yeah. Yeah, and so Joe Lynn Turner, I had him sing on some songs before on Michael Schenker Group albums and so on. And it's just funny that Carmine and him, they ended up both on the same two songs. That was not planned, but I don't know how it happened.
So Love to Love, the track you have used with Axl, was that re-recorded vocal?
No, he just
wasn't happy with it?
He just improved it. Axl did. We didn't. I mean, I didn't tell any singer what to do. I just let them all do what they wanted, and I did what I wanted. So we all did what we wanted to have fun, and it worked out great.
Well, Slash is on Mother Mary. Now, how did it work? Did they choose the song they wanted to go on, or did you select the song for them?
Yeah, the plan was to do a jam in the studio. You play, I play, you play, I play. But then then Slash wanted to use my amplifier. And so I went, okay, we can do that. And besides that, we don't really have to jam because it takes the focus of we have to focus on two guitars instead of one. I already did my parts and I left you holds. So if we do it that way, you can use my amplifier and we can just focus on your takes and take the best ones. That's what we did.
So when you get a Slash and a Michael Schenker in the same room at the same time, both with guitars, does it become a contest or do you join together in unison?
Oh, no. He ended up just playing because I left the gaps for him, where I wanted him to play. And my guitar was already there. So we just started to go, okay, ready, 1, 2, 3, 4. And off he went.
Wow. What about Dee Snider? I mean, Twisted Sister, one of my favorite bands. And, this is the opening track on the album, Natural Thing.
Yeah, I was blown away when I heard him sing because, again, I don't listen much to music, but I have heard that song, We're Not Gonna Take It No More, I guess, and that sounds big. But when I heard Natural Thing, I was blown away how strong the vocals was, really, really good.
Yeah. And, of course, Joe Lynn Turner's the other song, Dr. Doctor. So, yeah.
Joe Lynn Turner is fantastic. I mean, I love the song Surrender, but the Rainbow song was really good. And what he has done on my albums is fantastic.
An 11-minute track. I mean, that's really epic on this record, isn't it?
Yeah, I was surprised when the record company suggested that as a single. I mean, I'm kind of going like, people have to listen there for 11 minutes. That must be going very slow. 11 minutes is a long time. Plus to have that focus for that long, if you're not that much into guitar playing. So, I guess you win some, you lose some.
Yeah. I mean, you go back and revisiting all of these UFO songs. I mean, you say that you don't listen to music, but how top of mind were these songs when you went into the studio?
Yeah, how that goes is like this. I mean, when we did Phenomenon and then start touring, we pick a couple of songs of the studio album, like everybody else probably does, our favorite collectively. And then we do Force It, No Heavy Pet, No Heavy Petting, Lights Out, Obsession, and then it's time to make a live album. By that time, we have chosen the best songs for live concerts, so it's already there. It's Strangers in the Night is the best of UFO. And it just happens to be that I wrote almost all the songs. And that is one of the things that, it's the 50th anniversary. That's when I joined the band in 72, 73. We toured and we recorded the album. In 74, it was released. And that is the period from 72 to 78, which was the really the only time when UFO actually became famous. And so when I have heard remixes, or when I saw remixes being released over the years, I noticed that there was no information. There was just the name UFO and the song title, but many songs maybe whistle the song, but they have no clue what it is because they heard it maybe from their parents or whatever, but they have no information about it. So I thought, especially newcomers, that was the main reason for me to do this album as well, to take advantage of re-educate. 50 years is a long time, or to educate newcomers and let them know what this is, what happened, and let them into more history details of what this was. And so I give a lot of information on the album cover, in the sleeve, on the liner notes, etc., etc., so that people really understand what happened 50 years ago. And it just happened to be, and I picked, of course, the songs that I wrote, with the exception of Too Hot to Handle, which was dedicated to Paul Raymond and Pete Way, as in memory of. So because it's a Pete Way song.
You were 17 years old, a teenager when you joined UFO in 1972. Does the teenage Michael Schenker revert back to you now when you play these songs again?
I think I'm still the same age as I was then. I'm also very universal and I live in the now. So it's, for me, I never really go back anywhere. It's always for me the now. I think when you are in that world, it's like time doesn't really exist in a way, and I don't hold on to time or to memories or anything like that. I always, and I don't have a favorite song either. For me, my whole life is just developing. I'm an artist, and so that and self-expression is my mission. I mean, that is 50 years listening to music. Of course, I have heard songs and stuff like that in the elevator and in a taxi or somewhere. But I try that as good as I can in order to self-express and do something that nobody else can do, but everybody can do it with their own mind. I mean, anybody who decides to do that can do it, self-express, or you can follow a trend. That's the choice.
Were all of the 11 songs on this album performed live back in the day when you were in the band in the 70s?
No. I played some of them live, but not all of them.
So what are the ones off here that have never been performed live?
Mother Mary, let's see, Mother Mary. Oh, yeah, and I have to also expand my because when I play live, I need more songs than what's on the album. That's 11, but I'm adding. I think This Kid's Mother Mary and Love to Love hasn't been played, and I'm adding to it another couple, 3 songs to make it a full program.
Wow. And, what are the touring plans? Obviously you're not going to get all of these people together for one concert.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. That's going to be interesting because there are so many great singers on there. And it's not like if one singer is not available, that's the end. If one singer is not available, then I can, ask somebody else. They're all great. Eventually, I mean, it must be very good for the audience. I can come around and around with a different singer and they kind of, oh, that's great. Like Axel, he wants to do it in Japan, and so maybe the Snider does it in America or something like that. Or maybe Eric does it everywhere until, we're and maybe us, people can join in if we are at the festival and there is a couple or 3 singers there, they can join in and each one can sing their song. It's so many different ways of going about with this. But for now, we have committed to Wacken, the Wacken Festival 25, with Eric singing. And the Alcatraz, and we are working on getting more and more. There is a European tour I have been asked to confirm, and so things are rolling.
It sounds like a retrospective looking back album when you're talking about My Life with UFO, but there are more albums from Michael Schenker coming. It does say that you will be releasing new music in 2025 and 2026. Yeah. So what are the plans? What's coming up?
Yeah, so I went in the studio in June 23. I wrote all the songs. I mean, of course, UFO was already written, but the MSG, Michael Schenker Group album, and the next album, I wrote the music. The second album was supposed to be an electric, like an instrumental album, and the reason was I wanted to make 3 albums in one go to let the people know what I've done in the last 50 years. So I did UFO, I did MSG, and I did acoustic or electric and both instrumental music. So I after we finished with My Years with UFO, I started putting down my guitars for the MSG album, which is going to be called Don't Sell Your Soul. And it's with Eric Kroenwell singing most of the songs. Robin McCauley singing, and Michael Voss, my co-producer, he's also singing. And then I did the instrumental album. As I was putting down my guitar, my composition, the instrumental part, Michael Voss kept singing, and I went like, Michael, this sounds really good. I think we should turn this into a vocal album. And have like I used to do with UFO, Belladonna and Love to Love, all of these songs used to be instrumental albums, and then they turn into vocal albums, vocal songs. And so we invited Herman Rarebel from the Scorpions, ex-drummer, and so this album is like now my one of my favorite albums. It turned into this amazing album. It was somebody had the idea to tune it to a 432 instead of 440, and which is the same tuning as Dark Side of the Moon, Pink Floyd. And so, that it just kind of, we added this, we added that, and it just kind of, it was like building a house and amazing. All of a sudden, I was shocked what came out of it. And people will be shocked when they hear this album because they will not believe what they're hearing. And it's called Freedom of Expression.
Wow. We're looking forward to that. Jeez. You're a very busy man, Michael Schenker.
Yeah. Better busy than bored.
Famous last words. Hey, great to have you here at Noise 11. Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you so much.